In this video, I'm going to show you some basics about getting started with Backup Pro. I'm going to show you how to take care of some of these things up here at the top. So file backup locations, backup store location, and also just some of these main configuration items so that you can get started. Okay, so basically what we have here for this file backup location is this is the area on the server or on the local machine that you want to back up. So notice right now it's set basically to back up the whole install of ExpressionEngine. Now that may or may not make sense for you. If you want to be a little bit more specific and a little bit more scalpel-like in how you back up, then you can certainly just change this by adding a couple of additional lines. So each line break is going to be backed up, so I can make whatever changes I want here. Also, if you are storing your system folder at a location higher than the root, then what you can do is you would just get rid of the segment there for the folder that we're in, which takes it up one more level. And if you've named it something, the special name, you can just change that to a special name and it'll back up that location as well. So, but for the purposes of just showing you that something is getting done, I'm going to go ahead and just go back to the original and back up that whole location. And I'm also going to change where I'm storing those backups, because I like to store everything in an assets folder. So I've created an assets folder. I'm going to click on the backup folder and I'm going to check my permissions on this. So I need it to be able to be writable. So I'm going to apply those changes and then close this window. And so I need to change this. So I'm at Mithras 62. I need to just make it assets, and then I think it's backup. It is backup, so we're going to change this because backups makes more sense. We're going to do multiple backups. So we've got the path correct. We've set our permissions. We have the path correct to the site that we want to back up. And we're going to also just set this. If we leave it alone, we don't want other people to be able to set or change the settings here. I'd usually just leave the maximum database backups. I don't have any limit set to that. If you want to be conservative, if your site is really big and you don't know whether you're going to run out of space, then maybe set it to 5 or something like that. And the same thing for the maximum file backups. That's a little bit more important because your files, your files may take up a whole lot more space than your database does. So maybe you set that to 3, or maybe you want to do something like a week's worth of each. You can do that. The database backup method, I found that PHP is usually good for most hosting companies. So I usually leave that. But it depends on your hosting company. If you have performance issues, like it says here, you can use MySQL dump. Database restore method, I also leave it on PHP. Auto prune threshold, I usually leave it disabled. I'm not changing this unless I'm running into a situation where I'm running out of space. So if I really wanted to, I guess I could set this to say 500 megabytes and ensure myself that I never get that email from a server dev or a server admin that says, you're taking up too much space. So anyway, so the date format. This is the format of the file name. So I usually just leave this as is because I like it to actually tell me when it was created with the actual time so that I can know which one was taken the latest. So the exclude paths are the exact opposite of what we have over here, up here. So the file backup locations are the paths that we want it to do. And then if we say that exclude paths, we may have, say, tutorials. If you put video tutorials up on the server for clients to watch. So we may want to not back those up because video tends to be really big. So I'm just going to leave it at that, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to create a tutorials folder just So it's real, and we'll put a new file in here. So this is a test file.txt. Okay, so we've got our test set up here. We're going to go scroll down. We're going to submit this. And now we have the ability to back up our database. So you don't want to leave the screen when it's actually going through the progress. So you'll notice that that is done. If I go to view backups, now this is a brand new install of ExpressionEngine 2.8.1. You're seeing here it was taken May 6, 2014 at 3:02. And it was only 15 kilobytes. So I can download that now. I can restore back to it. We'll have other videos for those. If I want to back up my files, I just click on Backup Files. Again, do not move away from the screen while it is doing that. If I go to view my file backups, you'll notice here that it is, say, 6.67 megabytes. And I can also download that. If I so choose, I can actually get rid of these backups just by clicking or selecting the button here, or the select button, and clicking on delete selected. But I'm not going to do that because I want to show something in another video. So, but I hope that is helpful. Again, just remember this file backup locations is the location that you want it to back up, and you can be specific with that. So you can add a new location on each line. Typically you do that to control the areas that it's backing up more thoroughly. This backup store location is where those files are going. So if we go back up here, go to backups, you'll notice now that on the server I have a file for the database, and I also have a zip file for the actual files. So that's helpful. I have the ability to set access levels. I have the ability to set maximum number of database and file backups. I have the ability to set the database backup and restore methods. I have an auto prune threshold that is set by the amount of space that we're taking up, and I can change the date format, and I can exclude paths. So hope this was helpful.